Our trip to Namibia and its expansive sand dunes began with a 38-hour trek from San Francisco. This was followed by a short hop to Little Kulala camp with our 6 fellow photo adventurers. Sundowners in the desert allowed us to get to know each other. The next morning we were up early for a hot air balloon ride. The scenery was spectacular, with giant red sand dunes stretching off into the distance towards the east, as well as scattered sharp mountains surrounded by fairy circles. As we started to descend, we could see the ground crew following below. They dropped us right onto the balloon's trailer before whisking us off to a champagne breakfast in the sand. That afternoon, we were treated to a drive in the desert. In the distance, we could see a sandstorm ahead of a late-season thunderstorm. The lightning show was beautiful against the desert colors. The following morning, we drove into the Sossusvlei, a salt and clay pan with some of the highest sand dunes in the world. We walked out to the dead valley and photographed the 900-year-old dead tree trunks against the red dunes. Back at the airstrip, we boarded a caravan for a flight to the far north of the country, which ended up taking 5 hours with 2 stops due to strong headwinds. Along the way, we saw just how far the desert extended. We landed at Okahirongo River Camp, just south of the Angola border. The Kunene River creates a strip of green and a fantastic view from the camp's amazing cottages. Our first morning, we went for a boat tour along the river, with birds and crocodiles. This was followed by a short hike on the Angola side, where we saw hundreds of crickets and finished with a rushing waterfall. Sundowners gave us a view of the expansive scenery all around. The next morning, we took an hour drive to a nearby Himba village to see their nomadic way of life. Raising goats and cows is their mainstay. We learned about their daily activities and traditional dress. And even made a couple of friends with the children. Our next camp was Ongava Lodge near Etosha National Park. Lions came to visit the watering hole that night and returned again in the morning to play and grab a drink of water for the warm day ahead. A short drive into the park started the animal parade, with birds like lilac-breasted rollers, yellow hornbills, and social weavers. At a nearby watering hole, we watched as a herd of around 100 zebra wandered in to get their first drink of the day. Their beautiful black and white stripes looked amazing as the group all pushed in for their fair share. And then they were off, walking off into the distance. Driving around the park, we saw oryx, the bizarre ostrich, and plenty of antelope. In the afternoon near camp, we saw black rhino. A mother and her baby gave us a show as they moved through the brush eating low grass. Our final animals were a pride of lazy lions who were too tired to pay us much attention. They were a great way to end our time in beautiful Namibia.